this thing in. We on. Guess we are. Let's lift this up a little bit more. What's going on, party people? Let's be here. We're back at it. We got another one here for you guys. You already know it's Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Come get this work. I got it in for you guys. So with that being said, welcome. This is L'Esprit. Now, if this is your first time, what we do here, we talk about spirituality. All right. So we break bread. This is a holy communion. Let's break some bread. You know what I'm saying? Let's share some wisdom. Still sharp and still. With no further ado, let's get right into it. So, as you can see in the title, oh, and just so you guys know, if you're coming back, you already know, stop playing. Stop. You good, motherfucker. You already know what's up. Get you a plate. We're going to talk some shit. All right? Now, check this out, though. What the fuck was I going? Oh, yeah. Well, as a spiritual healer, right? So I am a spiritual healer. I forgot to introduce myself properly for those of you, maybe this is the first time, and as a spiritual healer, what I do, I help you to understand your emotional pattern. I help you to understand, or help you to go through your shadow work, by providing you the proper understanding for you to do so. In other words, giving you the tools for you to do your work. So you're the one who has to do it. However, I will guide you by, doing the shit that I'm doing now, by pretty much telling you, some of the things that can help you and how you're being stopped, how to maneuver, we're just giving you the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We're giving sight to the blinds, baby. Now, with that being said, as you will see in the title of this video, right? Shit, what's the title going to be like? Now, I think, okay, this is what it's going to be. Relationship is the testing ground for your spirituality. It's very important that you understand that. So first of all, we are all spiritual. However, the thing about relationship is that it allows you to relate yourself to other people. And by you relating yourself to other people, technically what you're doing is you are revealing yourself. So that being the testing ground, meaning it allows you to see where you at, what needs to be done, you know what I'm saying, and just get it done. So that's why the thing about your relationship is that your true self gets to come out, like your shadow self and all of that. Because technically, when you are involved in a relationship with someone, what's happening is that you are embodying their mentality, not necessarily their mentality, but pretty much you're being faced with, their state of mind, their mom, their dad, their cultural differences, if there's any. Shit, nigga, that shit is complex. Very, very complex. However, we all have this tendency to think, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is. But trust me, there's a whole lot of is in it. So, and that's why it's also, because what happens is when you are in a relationship, you get to really show your shadow self. So now, if you're really paying attention, sometimes it may take up to a year or maybe, 2-3 years for you to really get to know someone. Because in that process, what's happening is that, as I always talk about, we never were rewarded to be ourselves. So therefore, we all know, being yourself, that's a no-no. You know what I'm saying? So now with that being a no-no, so therefore, you're not getting the best out of that person. And that person, it's not loving you either, because now we're looking at something that's more than who you are. So therefore, it would have to be your accomplishments. It would have to be your social statuses, all of them shits. But the good thing about this, even for you to align yourself, or even for whatever the fuck you're looking for, this is also telling about you. You're telling on yourself. So that's why this is a testing ground. So the reality of it is, it's not just it's not just relationship that really is the testing ground for your spirituality. It's you coming out of yourself. In other words, your interaction with the world is you coming out. You know what I'm saying? That's you. That's the spirit having a human experience. In so many words. But anyway, no need for me to get too deep. Slow it down, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to take it step by step, right? So in terms of relationship itself, it allows you, just like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? That's why, when two people get together, we all say it all the time, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, we don't know, how profound what we're saying. It's like, what I'm saying, the person is fake. It's like, you're not really meeting the right person until a certain amount of time. They get comfortable. Okay, I could come out. So now, what I'm saying, I already got you in so many words, because, that's how because the way society is set up, we all know this, right? And I have tons of video on it, is that, you're not supposed to live the life that you want to live. You're supposed to live how other people want you to live. And that's where the whole ego comes in, the whole pleasing people, being part of society. You act in a certain way. So therefore, you're not acting based on who you are, but on what you should be, or whom you should be. Do you see what I'm saying? So at that moment, when you get into a relationship, you don't get rewarded for being yourself. There's no need for you to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you hiding yourself too. And I already talked about that. And of course, if you're going that way, so therefore you're not even going to be able to love, because you're not looking at that person for who they are. You judging them. Do you see what I'm saying? You judging them, and and in most cases, the people who are judging you, they should be judging themselves. To be honest, well, like they say, it's always the trash people that you see trash in other people. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're somehow, but anyway, we're not even here to talk about that. So let's get into shit. First of all, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because I gotta be careful. Hey, they said no relationship coach niggas. You know what I'm saying? But spirituality is involved in everything. So as a spiritual being, as you're getting to know who you are, as you're aligning yourself with who you are, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to a relationship. And that's how it is a testing ground for you to either, catch on to your shadow self, know what's happening, or even for you to evolve too as a person. Because that's what true relationship does. It adds to you, as you adding to your, well, anyway, it definitely adds to you. I'm taking it a step at a time, and then we're going to break it down later, right? So it's like, you get to develop, you get to, radiate the person that you are, you get to show your love. And the flip side of that too, you could get bitter, you could, start suppressing a lot of shit. That's when a lot of people start playing games, don't want to be hurt, and all that shit. So it goes both ways. But the bottom line is this: it can either break you or make you. That's all it comes down to, right? But either way, it is a testing ground for your spirituality. And that's the part that I want to talk about. How can you grow from your relationship? Or what is it that your relationship is actually teaching you? That's what you want to be able to understand, right? So the first thing you got to look at, let's take a look at a male, let's take a look at a female. What do we have? We have two different individual, as far as sex. We have two different sexes. However, in each one of those sexes, they have both genders. What am I talking about? The Kabbalion talks about the law of gender. I mean, not gender. Shit, nigga, shit. I'm staying healthy, baby. But anyway, the Lord, gender. God damn it. So, oh shit. So you know we're about to go in, baby. We're about to talk some shit now. You know what I'm saying? My niggas. So, check this out, right? So now we're talking about nigga. Happy Thursday, niggas. But anyway, so we're talking about there's sexes and gender. Those are two different things. Quite often, when people are referring to relationship, they're talking about sexes, meaning they're talking about dick and pussy. Let's keep it 100, right? So I'm not here to talk about dick and pussy. I'm here to talk about gender, meaning in a man, as it is in a woman, there is two different gender in all of us, which is a masculine and a feminine. For a man, when they, generally speaking, men is more intellectual than women. What does that mean? It means we use more of our intellect. I mean, niggas, you already know that. Can I just skip that? Oh, for bullshit. Let's just talk about it. Because that's just some dumb shit. I would assume niggas know that by now, right? Everybody knows that, right? So, and then we call women emotional, not because men do not have emotions. However, when we talk about a man, his intellect is predominantly, it's pretty much, it's like, let's just put it in numbers, right? So you're looking at probably 70 to 30. So a man is predominantly ruled by his intellect, whereas a woman is predominantly ruled by his emotion. So when we say that women are emotions, or emotional, emotions, well, that too, whatever the fuck, right? So when we call them being emotional, is because they, are predominantly, run or rule by their emotions. That's all that means. That doesn't mean they don't have any intellectual capacity. As your niggas should know by now, that is not a fact. Michelle Obama, you know what I'm saying? All them other bitches, smart motherfuckers. Bam, y'all got it. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Now, why am I talking about this? Because when we talk about a relationship, right, we're talking about, especially in African spirituality, we go by something called ma'at, which is balance, harmony. There's no war between men and women. So what I'm seeing in those dating sites, or what's happening right now, it's a war between modern women, traditional women, and men. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are just niggas are cockfighting, and women are kitty fightings. Like, anyway, but let's get back to what we're talking about here, right? So understanding, and this is how, by you going through your relationship, it allows you to evolve as a spiritual beings. And those are the tools that I'm giving you now, so that you can understand and apply them into your life, right? So now, knowing that each one of us have two gender in us. So what you see sometimes, okay, let me give you the science of when the niggas talking about what they call a simp. A simp, technically, based on what I've been hearing and seeing, because that shit is new to me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's like, it's a bitch ass nigga. Meaning, that's my term. I love that bitch ass nigga shit. That's the term that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Then I learned about simp. Oh, okay. That's what it is. Bitch ass niggas. In other words, you have a masculine who have adopted or who tapped into a feminine energy, but yet rejected his masculinity. And I know a few bitch ass niggas in my family too. I got receipts on these niggas, but it's okay. That's what happened. I mean, there's nothing. We're not hunting nobody down here, but that's what happens sometimes, especially if you were raised by, you know, a single like a single mother in most cases. And it's not always the case, but generally speaking, sometimes, you know, they tend to hate men. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, some things happen to them that now their son, who's, you know, your mother's everything. You know what I'm saying? I went through it myself. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why I'm gonna say this too. What you're talking about here, those are different state of mind or different stages as a man is evolving. You know, depending on the structure or your conditioning, you could be born a beta or a beta, which is a bitch ass nigga or a simp, you know, which means you are more in tune with your feminine energy. And now you're neglecting your masculine energy. So therefore, what you have here is you are being imbalanced. And the same thing for what niggas are calling the modern women. Right? So what they call in modern women, because just like we talked about, we both have our masculinity and our femininity, right? So these bitches or ladies, I just talk fouls. So it's no sexism going on here. Nigga, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. So, you know, hey, you know, it's a sensitive world. I'm just putting out there. So, and you might want to stop too. If you're too sensitive, you know what I'm saying, you might want to click out. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just, yeah, listen. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm not coming at none of you motherfuckers. This is all educational or spiritual purposes. That's all that is. Now, let's proceed. Then you have a lady now who actually take on her masculinity and have neglected her femininity. So you out of whack, you're not balanced, and that's why you will see those two most likely would get together. But that's way down the line. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited, baby. I mean, it's so much. It's so true. Like, it's so apparent. It's so plain. But anyway, so you have that, right? So that's what they call the modern women, based on what I've been, you know, looking at. Or another way of saying that, you know, women who trying to be like men. Do you see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, because they have neglected their femininity, you know, they are neglected it. Now they're trying to be a man. And their purpose now is to be a better man. You know, we want to be better at what you do. We want equal pay. We want to do the same and exact shit that you're doing. You know, but again, this is what I want you to understand when it comes to relationship, right? How you relate to one another. Is that by them approaching it that way, or approaching, they're looking at it from an egotistical perspective, meaning, and that's what makes it fucked up. And not just them, the guys too, the simp, the beta, you know what I'm saying? Looking at it from just an emotional perspective, it's not balanced. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. So now, on the flip side of that, you have a masculine man or a male now who, you know, take on his masculine energy and not so much of his femininity. And based on my understanding, what I'm watching, what I'm seeing that people are talking about, that's what they're referring to as an alpha male. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, you know, it's all good. Now, on the flip side of that too, then you have a female, you know, that's what you would probably call a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Who's not using her intellect, who just goes by her fucking emotions. Right? Like, who's losing her mind, fucking everybody. You know, just a bitch. You see what I'm saying? So, what I'm here to talk about is now that you so far see the differences and understand, the lack of balance that exists. Well, not necessarily the lack of balance, but what happens when, you go just by your masculinity and then you neglect your femininity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in great danger, pretty much, because you're not balanced. You're not in harmony. So, as a man, for you to grow spiritually, for you to transcend, for you to radiate at your highest state of mind, it's important for you to embrace your femininity and not neglecting your masculinity. And in the occult world, we call that a divine masculine when a guy is able to do that. And on the flip side of that, when you have a female who embraces her fucking femininity, but at the same time worked on her masculinity. I apologize. Ooh, okay, that was a good one. That's what you call a divine feminine. Because as a spiritual being, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's just the name of the game. And for you to grow, you have to expand consciously. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, so now that's how pretty much a relationship allows you. It's your testing ground, because now it allows you to do your shadow work. Let's just say, as an alpha male, if you're not in touch with your femininity, now you need to get in touch with your femininity. And let's talk about it here. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that. Because at first I did say I was not talking about sexes. I was talking about gender. Just so you know, in homosexual relationships, a homosexual means same sex. They still have different genders. In other words, like if you have two gay guys, you do have the bitch, then you have the nigga. With two lesbians, you would have the tomboy, and then, gender, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not about dicks and pussy. If you're looking for dicks and pussy, I'm saying, you clicked on the wrong motherfucker, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about that. So we're talking about gender. So therefore, I'm already showing you that gender is everywhere. And in African spirituality, we know how important it is for those two to come together. So if you understand that, now for your relationship to work out, those two has to come together. Meaning, as a man, you got to be balanced. And as a female, she got to be balanced too. So what you having, those debate, those, relationship shit, it's all unbalanced motherfuckers who's trying to be balanced. They think they got the answer. They telling you that's exactly what it is. Perfect example, right? So the thing about alpha male, right? And this is no shot. I get it. My dad was an alpha male. Shit, nigga, I'm a divine masculine. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Not to get twisted. Not a simp at all. Or a beta male. Not that at all. Meaning I know when to nurture. I know how to nurture. I am creative. I'm teaching. I know how to use my intuition. My intuition is my tool, nigga. I don't move without my intuition. I use my intellect to support my intuition. But my intuition is my guide. So I'm in touch with my feminine side. Now we're not talking about no gay shit here. And let me get that shit out the way real quick. You know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with that. Feel me? Anyway, let me get on my shit. But you know what? My bad. I should have talked about, the femininity in a guy and the masculinity in a guy. I didn't, kind of like go in, I didn't really talk about that too much. So let me apologize for that. But generally speaking, when we're talking about or referring the femininity into a masculine man, what we're talking about his intuition. We're talking about his ability, his emotions. Like a nigga like me, I could cry if I need to cry. You know what I'm saying? If I don't need to cry, I'm not gonna cry, but I'm not gonna hold my emotion in. So I'm in touch with my emotions. And for you to be spiritual too, for you to grow to transcend, in other words, having a human experience as a spirit, because your emotions are nothing but just forms of expression. Because your soul came down here to experience these things. Like my son, I hugged this nigga, I kissed him. What's going on, King? Best believe I stay on that ass too. But anyway, so the same thing. In a female, it's important for her to tap into her masculine side. Because now, instead of just being emotional, losing her mind, she's able to think and put her emotions in check. That's why it's important for you as a spiritual being to develop, to have those different parts of you in harmony. The yin and the yang, they got to come together. Then you get to be at your best. Because the purpose of being spiritual, niggas, is to be a good human being. Whether you want it or not. Whether you want it or not. And generally speaking, a lot of spiritual beings too, they're not seeking to look good. They're not seeking to be good. However, it's just something that happens to be. That is the purpose. Meaning, if you understand how to balance your emotional side with your intellect side, you are balanced. That's when you don't judge motherfuckers. That's when you take accountability for the shit that you do. A good fucking human being. That's when you're not becoming a fucking hater. We could do this all day. So that's why as a spiritual being, it's impossible for you to neglect, especially if you're down here. You're going to be a great human being. And that's the model, or that's the example that a lot of spiritual leaders have been showing the world. And that's why, let's make the world a better place. Not for us to stay in it, but as we become in alignment with our fucking self, then we're becoming good. But not for the sake of being good. This shit it's a paradox. It is what it is. It's like I'm doing the right thing, not to show off, but, the reward, it's in it itself. You understand what I'm saying? So as you're going through a relationship, that's why relationship, and I'm not even talking about sex too, and that's another tool That's a whole different conversation. That's why when we talk about sexual healing or sexual magic, you got to understand what that shit is. Right? So essentially, when we talk about sex, it's a masculine energy. What do I mean by that? Well, technically, if I come before you, sex is over. That doesn't mean I'm in charge. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's why a man, you have to reconcile, you have to develop your feminine energy. Because your feminine energy at this point, you got to understand the difference between ejaculation and fucking orgasm. And yes, niggas get catch fucking orgasm too, but that's not what we're here to talk about. When you in touch with that feminine side of you, you know what I'm saying? You could go for an hour, nigga, beating that pussy, nigga. Bitches coming over and over, but you got to be in touch with your femininity, because the way the feminine look at sex it's the passion, it's the desire, it's enjoying the shit. So you connect with your feminine side by not just want to come, but by enjoying this shit, by spending your shit. But anyway, that I want some bullshit. You already know. So we're not. It's that would be, and if you follow all that along, then you'll get into your sexual healing, nigga. You gotta understand. Yeah. Anyway, what a fucking spirit. Relax, nigga. We're not talking about sex here. Let's get back to what we were talking about, right? So we're talking about genders. We're talking about how vital it is in your spiritual journey as a man or as a female to get in touch with both of those genders in you. And that's what we call ma'at. Because by you doing so, now your relationship, by you doing that in you, because remember, listen, niggas, like my niggas, shit's crystal clear, man. Crystal clear. Crystal motherfucking clear. So when you look at a lot of relationship, it's because they're not balanced. In other words, another way I'm saying this, there's no, for it to be balanced, there's got to be a masculine and a feminine. But the reason why you need to develop as a female both your masculine and your feminine side, because it allows you to have a bigger picture. And I'll give you guys a perfect example, right? A bitch who knows who's in touch with her masculine side, if a nigga were to cheat or were to fuck on her, I'm using the terminology that y'all motherfuckers are using, right? Because to me, I don't know what cheating is. Nigga, if I want to fuck another bitch, I'm fucking another bitch. I don't know what cheating is. But anyway. But I guess it all depends too. Niggas be lying. They just you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Your pussy's the greatest. Well, that's on you, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. You never heard a bitch tell you, yo, that nigga's a nigga, dog. He's gonna do nigga shit. So that's a bitch who's in touch with her feminine side and her masculine side. Because what that does is, as a female, it allows you to have a perspective on male and understanding how to deal with them. But most importantly, because this is all spiritual, because I'm not here to tell you some, dating or fucking, relationship shit or advice. I'm not a dating coach. But, I learned some shit that may be able to help you, because it's all about healing, right? So for you to heal, the meaning of healing, meaning you got to stand, it's me helping you to stand in your light. When you healed, you stand in your light. That's simply what it means. It's to be healthy. That's why you got to do your shadow work. That's why you have to understand your emotional pattern and fix that shit, realign it, becoming the master of your life, becoming godlike. So, as a female, what that does for you, it allows you to go through the fucking illusion. Now you are not you're not enslaved by your emotions. Now you become the master of your emotions. Because the name of the game, as a spiritual being, that's how you're using relationship for you to grow. And even if you don't use it for you to grow, listen, you're not learning. Because every time you get into a relationship, it's either a motherfucker's teaching you about yourself, either to love yourself or to love yourself. That's what you're doing. And by now, you guys should realize it's all mental. Because what you're calling the modern women and traditional women, they're all bitches. But they have different conditioning, meaning different ways of looking at life. But the divine feminine always existed, always had a one state of mind, just like the divine masculine. And that state of mind, pretty much, you transcend all of that, and you becoming, how can I say this? Then at this point, you're really enjoying your fucking relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm hearing when people are talking about relationship, they're really talking about dick and pussy. There's no love involved. There's no gender in love. It's like this culture is like we're, neglecting or downplaying gender roles. Because we're looking at it from a European perspective. Meaning, the shit that I live in fucking Atlanta, man. The shit I've been seeing, it's the battle between sexes. That's because they're fighting for power. They're going at love using their ego. You can't do that. Now the Christians, they say this thing though, and shit, nigga, I don't know to what extent that they're understanding what they're saying, but they say, yo, well, maybe I shouldn't say the Christian, black Christian niggas that I hear saying that shit, right? And generally those are married, married niggas. Then they're telling you God has to be in your marriage for your marriage to work. They're all right. Now, I don't know what their definition of God is. That's up to them. But for you to get to God, meaning to get to your higher self, you gotta be balanced. When somebody's using their ego, listen, there's nothing bad with the fucking ego, man. That's just a European shit. Your ego's here to destroy you. Fuck the ego. That's a European perspective. You know, it's Similac. Your ego is not there to fucking destroy nothing, nigga. Your ego is simply there to protect you. You know, it's your survival thing. In so many words, there you go. You have egocentric, ethnocentric. What is it? There's another one too. I think there's a world centric. All of that, they're all talking the word centric referring to your ego. Your egocentric is the lowest vibration, meaning you don't see no one else around you. It's me, 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 me. Then you have your ethnocentric, centric, which goes a little bit beyond just me, me. Now it's a nation. Just us. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's important for you to educate your ego, meaning, you know what I'm saying, to expand your ego, because it's there to protect you, but you can only expend it based on your knowledge. So can your ego fuck you up? Yes. If you on that egocentric shit, then you're stupid. Well, you know, lack of better terms. Not to be, you know what I'm saying, to be politically incorrect. You know what I'm saying? You're stupid. You don't see far beyond your nose. That's what selfish niggas do. Or selfish people, you know, for lack of better terms. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, your ego is not your fucking enemy. But now here's the problem when you're trying to love with your ego. It's like, nigga, you're not gonna put water in your gas tank for you know, and expecting your car to run. Because you're looking at something that's there to protect you, and then when it comes to love or relationship, how you relate to somebody else, relationship, you're talking about your higher self. So when these niggas said you gotta put God in it for it to work, yes, meaning even by saying the word God, you're already talking about a higher perspective. You're already taking a back seat, looking at the bigger picture. That is true. But I don't know what they mean by God or whatever the fuck. So to love, you have to love with your higher self, not with your lower self. Not because your ego is bad. That's not what the ego do. The ego's not there to love. It's protection, control. So that's why this is how you're going to know when somebody's approaching love with their fucking ego. Meaning they're looking for control. Either they don't want to be hurt. Do you see what I'm saying? So now they're looking to protect themselves, but the way they're protecting themselves, it's they didn't learn their lessons. Or in most cases, they have not fully developed either their masculinity or their femininity too. Because when you do, that should teach you how to be accountable, not to be defensive. Now, you create boundaries, which is something else. When you create a boundary, it's like, you know, and you say, hey, motherfucker, I'm not buying what you're selling. Stay on that side. That's boundaries. You know, like if I'm using myself, my heart is open to love like a motherfucker. But some bitches, you're not even gonna take a minute out of my time. That's boundaries because I already see you, bitch. I know you're not balanced. I know you fake. What the fuck am I gonna do with you? You're not adding anything to me. You're not making me a better man. What the fuck? And by you not making me a better man, don't get this fucked up. I'm not saying that, you know, you got to understand when you fully integrate your masculinity and your femininity, no one is gonna make you happy. So at this point, what are you giving me? What are you feeding me? Because I'm already happy by myself. Do you see what I'm saying? And you also got to understand too, by integrating your masculinity and your femininity, I'm not saying women now at this point means nothing. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is this: by you grasping both sides of you, now it gives you the potential now, you know, to make better choices or to align yourself accordingly. This is not a control shit. This is a knowing shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why, too, you gotta love yourself before you love somebody else. So when you say you gotta love yourself before you love somebody else, it doesn't mean fuck everybody else. I'm just gonna love myself. No, 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 no. That's being selfish. That's being stupid. Loving yourself before you love somebody else means now you have a better understanding of who you are. Now you are able, or you have the capability to love somebody else. So that's why a lot of relationships are not gonna work if you're not approaching, if you're not putting God first. You see where I'm going with this? And that's how a relationship is a testing ground for you to motherfucking grow. Spiritually. Because you are a spiritual being having a fucking human experience. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. No, 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 sir. No, ma'am. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, essentially, for a couple to really come together, both the female has to develop both sides of her. Now, she's not just emotional, oh my God, doing all that bullshit. She's using her intellect. And the man on the other side here is also using his motherfucking femininity as well. Because at this point, it's important for men to develop your feminine side. Because now you're not looking for pussy, nigga. Like, I was listening to this alpha nigga. That shit was weird to me. Like, how do you alpha? Are you looking for pussy, nigga? You looking to fuck? Now, I'm not downplaying fuck here. That's not what I'm doing at all. Yo, sex, shit, nigga. We could talk about it all day. In fact, I appreciate it. But to have sex as your intention, nigga, like you haven't mastered yourself. You there was this nigga. When I first moved down here, you know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with this nigga, man. I'm like, God damn, because he was showing me around. You know what I'm saying? Took me to a few spots and, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Showing me the minefield. This is where you step. This is where you don't want to go there and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm peeping out games. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? This nigga would go to a spot and talk to all the fucking female over there and thinks he's doing good. Like, come on, man. He's like, yo, come on, man. You a man. You know what I'm saying? You not bad looking either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I talk to them girls. I'm like, yeah, okay. Why don't you teach me, motherfucker? That's the shit I used to do when I was 16, nigga. That's what niggas do at 16. So you got to understand, that's why too, like, it's a journey for men, right? So that's why I don't talk about the alpha shit, because it's a journey. You go through, it's a different state of mind. You went from beta, then you graduated, you get to know yourself, and then now the highest level is to become a divine masculine. I'll give you a perfect example. Like, my dad was an alpha nigga. And me becoming a divine masculine, I'm like, nigga, you fuck that bitch. And then she got your kids. I ain't doing that shit, my nigga. I said, what? You just gonna let any bitch raise your kids? Okay, you getting money, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was getting this shit. Nigga, respect. You already know what this is. Respect it, nigga, always. You know what I'm saying? Nigga gave me a couple games too, but, it is what it is. Being a man, it's not how many pussy you get, nigga. It's how many pussy you choose, you reject, nigga. But that's a whole different story. That's it. How about that for a male who has combined both his masculine and femininity? How is that, nigga? And I'm a divine feminine too. And I'm gonna get to that too. So to me, the alpha male is falling short here. Because here you are on your purpose. Because to embrace your masculinity, meaning, in so many words, there's so many things that it means. But one of them, or the main thing, is, you're in touch with yourself as a man. Right? Shit. Fuck it. I got a couple of my niggas, and I believe that shit. They posted that shit. Have you seen niggas posting the Johnny Depp shit? He's the only man who won an argument with a fucking with a fucking woman, and niggas are proud to post that shit? That's some bitch ass shit, my nigga. First of all, as a man, you don't argue with a bitch at all. The fuck? You are entertaining the bullshit, and now the nigga that entertained the bullshit get to be a man? Get your skirt off, nigga. Take your skirt off. The fuck? Get your skirt off, nigga. Shit. First of all, if that nigga was a real nigga, he wouldn't be with that bitch to begin with. Let's call a spade, nigga. Now you are with this bitch, then you want a fucking argument. That's a disgrace. And then niggas are, what's the word, celebrating that shit? My niggas, come on, man. Come home, niggas. Niggas, come home. Come home. The fuck? Nah, nigga. You don't want to be the first nigga to argue with a bitch at all. And then to win and post that shit on your motherfucking IG and shit. Now, who's really the bitch? I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to our spiritual shit. I'm not here to step on anybody's toes. You know what I'm saying? But, some bullshit or some bullshit, nigga. But anyway. You know what I'm saying? And the importance or the mystery of balancing both men and women. Like, when you see a female, for instance, right, who had neglected her femininity, who's trying to be a man, what do you say? She has no self-esteem. That's why she's the loudest. Because she's not embracing her femininity. She's trying to be like a nigga. Now she's trying to fight you. She's imbalanced. And you niggas posting that shit, I get that speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? That's why for me, like, I mean, I'm not, trying to criticize and shit. But like that's why like the Kevin Samuel shit, I always used to laugh at it. But this motherfucker was smart too. He had a show. I don't think this motherfucker cared for anything. Because if you understand his science too, like if you're good, he's not talking for people who were in relationships. He wasn't talking for real niggas. He knew that. That's why when you call him, what are you talking about? You got problems. He knows you got problems. Otherwise, why the fuck would you call? Are you married? Okay. What's your size? But anyway, we still got to shout him out though, because everybody's doing God's work. We understand what this is. Because if you really break down his work, it was pretty much telling you, like, you might be delusional. Because you're looking for something that does not exist. Even though he didn't quite emphasize on that, I don't know, for me, the clip that I've seen didn't really emphasize on that. So it turned out to like, I mean, it's like you're fighting with bitches now. Do you see what I'm saying? And I've seen other women talking about, it's like literally you talking trash. You talking about bitch ass bitches, and then you making this a conversation. That's talking trash, literally. You talking shit. I mean, granted, it might be your shit, but that's some shit. That shit stinks. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you stay on your shit, you wouldn't worry about them bitches, man. Why the fuck you worry about them bitches, bro? Why you worry about them? They trash anyway. You crying over spilled milk. If you know they're trash, what's the point of you pointing out that they're trash? I'm only pointing that out to you to realign your ass. Because you're not looking at it from a spiritual perspective. It's like, I got to shout out, what's that bitch name? China White. That bitch is bad. She's a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Who been with, first, oh, my bad. I got to salute the niggas that opened up her mind. But she's also in touch with her fucking masculinity as well. That's why she's able to break the shit down to you niggas. She's a divine feminine. She's in touch with her shit. Her work pretty much is telling niggas, come on, man. We got to save this bitches out there. You got to man up so you can save those bitches. So she's really trying to save some bitches, to be honest. Now, she's being smart about it because she's going after the niggas because the niggas dictate. Like, you are the leader. And that's what the fuck she's doing. I could, baby girl, no, you doing your work though. I love it. Yo, this bitch said some shit like, she'll be like, yo, because you know I smoke my cigar and shit. Like, because I listen to everybody. Your wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. She told you to sit down, daddy. Let me lit up your cigar. I'm like, bitch! She's in touch. She's a mean bitch. She gets it. You gotta respect it though. I gotta respect it, my nigga. And the niggas that, you know what I'm saying, got her into that state of mind, more respect to you. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. Yo, nigga, I done been with bitches now that are reading and shit. I'm like, what? I guess I gave you something, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Now bitches are reading after they, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for trouble. I'm saying, you might be watching. Hey, listen. I'm just saying. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? I know you got a nigga. But again, we are multi-dimensional people, so I got to touch on those different aspects. But do not lose sight on your spirituality, because this is all spiritual. And that's why, like this nigga said, you got to put God first for your relationship to work. Meaning you got to step outside of yourself. Because understand this, two people that are in love, they have surrendered to love individually. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way one person is gonna be in love and then the other one doesn't believe in love, and then they're gonna come together. That's what you have when it doesn't balance. You know what I'm saying? You got your Will Smith shit. You got your Will Smith then. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, this nigga, hey, listen, man, we ain't judging nobody. He's definitely not a quitter, like he says, right? But I'll tell you what, homeboy, you're definitely not a winner, baby. If you understand the spirituality of fucking relationship, not all relationship is supposed to last. You're supposed to grow and move on. And if you guys are sharing that same path together, hey, nigga, bitch, you made it. Or nigga, or her, you made it. However the fuck you want to look at it. I don't give a fuck, you pick. I'm a nigga, I'm gonna stay on my nigga shit. On my divine nigga shit. What the fuck? Where am I going with this? So now, it's a testing ground for your spirituality. For you to develop yourself as a man, and for a bitch or a woman or a woman to develop herself as a woman. That's what that shit is. And unfortunately, in that process, some learn from it, some didn't quite learn from it. And that's where you get your fear and all that shit. But that shit truly is to help you see how you relate to other people and for you to get your shit right. So as a spiritual healer, your relationship, you have to understand it. Because it's all spiritual. So when two people fall in love, They both surrender to the idea of love. Now there's something greater, their higher self now is taking over. That's when you become compatible. That's where you start to listen. You're not judging. That's when also you're able to do your shadow work. Now we're coming together. Now this is you and that person, not what your dad did, not because you were raised by a single mother, because now you have done the work. Now you doing something else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna get too much into the relationship shit. To each his own. But I'm glad I was, I hope that you were able to see the difference when I'm talking about gender and sexes. But most importantly, to identify when people are approaching love with their ego, because their ego is not meant for love. It's there to protect you. Not that the ego is bad, had nothing to do with that. But you're approaching love with your higher self. And for you to be in your higher power, you have to reconcile as a man or as a bitch or as a nigga, however the fuck. I mean, like I said, yeah. Once you reconcile that, and in so many words, there's different layers by you loving yourself first. But for you to love yourself, you got to know who you are, though. How do you know who you are? By identifying this different aspect of you and being in touch with them. You see what I'm saying to you? So relationship, especially when it comes to your spiritual growth, it's a lot. And I'm not even talking about sex yet. Because we all know good sex is part of a relationship too. It's part of a relationship. That's the key word. But what you niggas are talking about, oh, he cheated, I'm out. He cheated, this and that. You're talking about dicks and pussy, man. There's no compatibility. There's no personality matching. There's nothing else. There's no values. You're just talking about dick and pussy. So therefore, you are on your lowest level, and you're talking shit. Literally talking shit. There's no elevation from it because you're not approaching it from a spiritual perspective. Let alone, God is not involved in your relationship. And again, I'm not, referring to whatever the fuck they talking about, but, that higher side of you. And that's how the two of you become one. Because now you become universal, meaning you become cosmic, or you transcended your higher self. You're dealing on a higher self perspective, but yet you remain your individuality. Oh, that's different. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna keep you guys for too long. I hope you were able to, get some shit here. With that being said, you already know Thursday night, nigga, smoke your shit, drink your shit, live your life. Listen, stay in your light. But for you to stay in your light, though, you have to get in touch with your light. Embrace yourself. Become a holy man. Be perfect. Not flawless, perfect. Meaning now you become one. You have united both sides of you. And that's what a relationship is teaching you. So it is your testing ground for your spiritual growth. Not marriages, not dick and pussy. It's way greater than fucking, having your kids I'm not minimizing that either, but that's how you're able to provide a home, and that's how you're raising those kids in their higher self too. Oh, this shit's beautiful once you get it though. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, y'all keep talking about dick and pussies. Now, with that being said, I say, bravo, Male. Check out the Patreon. You already know. Let's build the community, baby. And speaking of community, oh, niggas, it's all about the community. All about the community. Now, the problem becomes, in niggas that are talking about the community, they're not doing their individual work. Because even when you by yourself, you are part of a community. Let's get it straight. And us teachers, ascended masters, or descended masters, however the fuck you want to put it, I'm not talking to myself, even though now I'm talking to myself, but I'm going to publish this shit. So you're going to watch it, right? So I'll be talking to your ass. Your gift is meant to share it with the world. It's all about the world. Giving is receiving. So it's all about the community. But you got to work on yourself first. So a lot of people trying to be friendly, trying to do that, you know what I'm saying, just for the community, that's not the way to go about it. Just like you don't make money chasing money. You make money by providing something. Facebook, IG, they providing things. You don't make money making money. You don't run a water mill by bringing water, dog. You got to check on that fucking electricity. There's other things that makes the water mill running. Not water, even though water is the essence of a water mill. You got to know the proper mathematics, man. Just like you don't love somebody else, you don't love yourself. You gotta love yourself to love somebody else. There's no way around that. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's why it starts with you, but it's about the community. Get it? But anyway, with that being said, you already know it's nothing but love. Haitien. This time, Mali. Bra.